And
That's
again, the government said, we as government of the Republic, we recommend that this mine management be prosecuted. The findings were that the mine collapsed due to negligence. It is a well-orchestrated, satanic plan by the management, having a very strong backbone of which is our government. That is the truth. The CEO of Vantage said to me, part of the deal so that I'll give you the mine is to assist me, you scratch my back by making the inquiry report to disappear. That's what Fred Arendse said.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to another episode of The People's Eye. My name is Sizwe Samayende, your host as usual. Today we are at Louisville near Barberton, where the community here has been commemorating the death of 3 mine workers in 2016. Remember that here this is where the Lily Gold Mine is situated. That's where the disaster happened back then. But nothing much has really happened. More than 1,000 workers were laid off. They lost their jobs. 3 workers were buried underground when the mine collapsed. Their bodies have still not been found. The mine was put under business rescue. 9 years later, there's been no solution. The mine is still closed. I'm with Mr. Mazibuko here. He used to work at the mine. He's a spokesperson of the families, the workers, and the 3 bereaved families that were affected by the disaster. Mr. Mazibuko, welcome to The People's Eye.
Thank you very much for having me. Even if the body doesn't allow or permit, but because we really appreciate if our story, our plight is told to the public.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've been active in the thick of things since the disaster, trying to bring attention to the plight of the families, even the community at large here. But nothing has been happening. What has been keeping you going, really?
Yeah, it's hope. It's hope. This thing is similar like if we are owing. If you owe somebody, you prefer to take another road because automatically you feel guilty. At the end of the day, we are not animals. We are human beings. We've got feelings, you see.
Yeah.
So in this case, what keeps us going? We remain hopeful because there's no closure. Yeah. That itself, it creates pressure. At the same time, being hopeful that like you see, we are Africans, used to come and visit the families, are your traditional leaders, your sangomas. Some they are inspiring hope. Some they are relating to issues that happened ancient of days. That it happened that people disappeared like for period of over 20 years, 15 years, and they came up alive. So it's one of the things. This is life that we are living, you see. Yeah. Yes, some other times we feel like giving up, but the following day, here is somebody inspiring hope to us.
Exactly. But now, just take us back to that day, that fateful day, awful day on the 5th of February 2016, when the incident happened. You were a worker at the mine. Where were you at that particular moment when it collapsed? Actually, it was the entrance of the mine that collapsed, or rather the ground just before the entrance to the mine. When it collapsed, there were 75 workers or so who were inside the mine.
Yes, that's
correct. And then the 3 that died, they were in an office exactly on the spot where there was a sinkhole where the mine collapsed.
Yes.
You personally, where were you that day, if you remember what happened?
The 5th of February 2016 is the day that I personally will never, ever forget in my God-given life. Why? Because I was there meters away where the mine collapsed. And it's a day that's got mixed emotions to me. Because on the other hand, me personally, I'm appreciating God or my ancestors that I didn't collapse with them. Why I'm saying so, because it was like any other working days to us, not knowing what lies ahead on that day. And we've got many questions especially as the employees, because on that date, usually, maybe let's say 98% of the days, exactly the time when the mine collapsed, usually the mine workers who are going to perform their duties underground used to be seated there at the limp room.
At that spot?
At that spot where it collapsed. But that day, it happens that the so-called shift clearance was done earlier. And the 76, in fact, they were not 75, they were 76, who survived. Because I was working as a safety rep under the union, so I was working all over both the mines and surface, your plants, everything. I must ensure that my fellow colleagues are complying to safe. They are not oppressed as far as safety is concerned by the employee. So on that date, I was going to TMM workshop. TMM is a trackless mobile machinery. To conduct a safety meeting as per my daily routine. Along the way, I met Yvonne. And Yvonne stopped me and said, Yvonne, I'm rushing to a meeting. He said, you guys, we elected you, but you don't cater for ourselves, because I related my issue to that comrade. So he said he's coming back to me. But I said, no, I'm not that comrade. It's me. Allow me to have 5 minutes safety meeting. Then I come to the lamp room to attend, to hear what is it.
Yvonne is one of the workers.
Yvonne is one of the, yes, we're working on the ship container. Yes, that's correct. Then I've finished with my meeting, safety meeting. I was heading straight to Yvonne. I have to drop the union staff and take to drop the safety staff and take the union staff. While I was walking towards the container, I received a call from my senior, Sanet Yonger, saying that the general manager is requested a meeting with us safety people at the sister mine Barberton. And as a comrade, I said, no, I'm going to attend issues of my fellow colleague. Then I keep on walking. Then she called again and said, the general manager said, I must ask you, who's paying you? Is it the union or the company? Then I said, no, now it's happening. But I keep on going because I've signed that if there's a crisis, I must attend. I'm representing the interests of the employees. And I believe that if one's got a complaint, is not happy, it's unsafe for that individual because he cannot focus. So those are the elements that I believe that should I be in trouble, I'll defend myself with.
Also, the issue, she wanted to raise a very critical issue with you, but you were preoccupied. You had these other meetings to attend to.
Yes.
Did you get to know what was the issue she wanted to raise?
Yes, I was aware of the issue because we're operating with the structure, representing them under our union. We used to have, before end of the shift, we meet. What are the issues? What are the issues that we've encountered individually? And then our secretary captured that. So it came from my other colleague in a union that, no, there's this issue. Apparently, Yvonne was promoted, and then 5 February 2016 was her 3rd month being promoted, but without receiving her salaries according to the promotion. That's what she wanted to tell me, and she never told me that. So, yes. So then when she said, no, who's paying? When we're having that conversation, boom, another call said, no, we must remain now. The meeting is called off. Why? Because there's something happened at Lily Mine. But while I was talking to my senior that the general manager is calling us, I heard a huge sound, bang sound. But in mining, there are sound. But this one was unusual.
Yeah.
But I never thought that the mine is collapsing. Then while I was attending, having that conversation, when they stopped us, something has happened. What is it? Nobody's explaining. I heard people screaming from the entrance of the mine, coming to our side, our offices. What happened? They don't know. Everybody's crying. When we approached the area as safety people, including with the management, there was nothing to see. It was only a big black cloud of dust or smoke.
Yeah.
Then minutes later, when the dust settled, we see a huge opening in sinkhole. The container was in there. And the other structures. Then we realized that no, something very, very big has happened.
No, very, very. It must have been a shock. I don't know.
That is why.
Worse than a shock.
Yes, that is why I'm saying personally, I was. For me, it's fortunate because if it wasn't the disturbance of communication for the planned meeting in Barberton, the mine should have collapsed. Me standing talking to Yvonne.
Yeah.
So it's a space of a couple of minutes, maybe 3 minutes. I should have sunk with them.
Yeah, really, really bad, man. Then there were other workers who were already inside the shaft now, the 76 that we spoke about. Were they aware what was happening outside after you spoken to them, after they were rescued? Were they aware that, hey, something happened outside? Did they feel anything?
Nothing.
Because
if I quite remember very well, on the east side of the mine, they were working at 12 level. On the west side of the mine, they were at 13 level. It's too deep. It's far because same date, when the dust settled, the entrance of the mine where they put concrete, some of them, they know that is the main road for getting in and coming out the mine. So most of them were rescued through the secondary escape route. The vent shaft was used as a secondary escape route. Those ones were 4, if I remember very well. They were standing on top of the concrete. There was nothing underneath. We were shouting at them, and it's a distance. They couldn't hear. Just they are asking themselves a question: what has happened? Where's the road? Where can we walk? And remember, there's no communication. That is why it was difficult to rescue them, because we rely on wired communication. There was no electricity, no ventilation, everything. Because remember, the transformers, power suppliers were sitting next to the container. So according to them, afterwards, hours later, when they were retrieved, they said, no, everybody was asking himself, what's happening? Why it's so dark? Why there's no ventilation? They didn't hear a thing underground where they were. Up until they say, because now the safety, it's a good thing that I can appreciate maybe our government for that regulation, that if you see this, no need to report to your senior. You must try to find a way out. That's where everybody, because nobody was giving what instruction, because it's something that everybody is not familiar with.
Now, okay, a lot of things happened. Government came down, the Department of Minerals and Mineral Resources and Energy now. Everybody came down. Everybody promised to do this and that, to first to save the jobs, to retrieve the bodies of the 3 workers, and lots of promises that were made. It's 9 years later. I think you've been camping there as former workers and the bereaved families for how many days now? 3,000?
Today is 2,108 days.
2,108 days, camping there, sleeping outside the mine, spending your time there to throw the plight of, to draw attention to your plight. basically. The main thing being the retrieval of the bodies. That's first and foremost. It's 9 years later. Nothing much seems to have happened. How do you feel about that? And what do you think the hold-up is? Why there's no progress?
Yes, it's the long and short, it's our government. It's failure of our government. And it's not Harry Mazibuko saying so. But to begin with, after the collapse of the mine, our government was doing well. Our government was there every day and night.
Yeah.
Your inspector of mines, your rescue teams, your experts, your ambulances, they were there. But I don't know what changed that everybody disappeared. That's where we started to be wrong till to date. I'm saying that it's our government who doesn't want us to get closure. The employees be paid their money. It's not me, it's not my handwriting, but it's the very same government. Because by procedure, if an incident happens at the mine, we have to practice your Section 72 inquiry. That was done.
Yeah, they did the inquiry. Yeah.
And the findings were there. And recommendations were made by our government, not us. The findings were that the mine collapsed due to negligence.
Yes.
Because experts have warned, rock engineers have warned the mine management that the entrance of the mine, you've applied for going underground and you say this is a temporary road for going underground. As soon as you make a profit, consider developing a road that is going to be solid. That has not been complied with up until 2016. Then the mine collapsed. Then for that reason and many others, including that, where we have mined, we are not allowed as a company to put infrastructure on top.
Or it means if you have mined here underground, then there
mustn't be nothing on top. Your roads, your whatever structures.
Because it is expected that the area might collapse anytime.
But they didn't comply. It's not a Mazibuko, it's the findings of the inquiry conducted by the government.
Yeah.
And again, the government said, we as government of the Republic, we recommend that this mine management be prosecuted.
Yes.
Because they didn't comply with 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
We waited for prosecution till to date.
It has not happened.
The latest development is that the minister, according to me, maybe not the families, is awarding the very same people, the very same government recommended prosecution, another mining rights to come back to the very same mine where they didn't comply.
Basically, the department which conducted the inquiry, which made findings against Vantage Goldfields, the owner of the mine.
Yes.
Then it's saying now, Vantage, come back, reopen the mines and continue mining.
Yes, and before that, in our plight, because we are not just camping there, we're sending out correspondences.
Yeah.
The minister responded to us by saying, him as a minister being in government, the South African government is not prepared to spend money on a private company. The very same minister now, the latest, that I'm giving the private company Section 11.
Section 11, just to explain to the listeners and viewers, it's basically a permission that the Minister of Minerals and Resources gives to a company to mine.
Yes, that's correct. The mining rights. The government permits company so and so to do mining in this area, starting from this date. So it came as a shock to us because we were expecting a prosecution so that justice can be served to us.
Yeah.
You see, unfortunately, that's what our government did.
Well,
and
the NPA, National Prosecuting Authority, because obviously the report was given to them to take it forward. Have they reported to you guys as to what do they think? When are they going to take action? The police themselves, even.
Yes, as far as the government is concerned, we are confused. We find it very difficult how everything works, because we went as far as to march to the NPA headquarters, demanding answers as to what is it, because the inquiry, the inquiry report, everything is the detailed is there.
It's detailed.
The communications of the rock engineer years back is there. But the NPA, they say they are still checking the case for over how many years now?
Yeah.
Again, 2023, October.
Yeah.
The Mbombela Magistrate Court, Judge A. van der Merwe, made the same ruling. After the families were subjected to the sittings every day, including being told that your family members died same day. So it's not easy as a family member to listen to such, because there was Dr. Ganchev say a human being cannot survive this long under these circumstances, of which me personally, I find it difficult to take that. And there was something that we're not balancing, because, but I cannot blame him, he's an expert. But according to my knowledge, not that I've acquired from school or university, I was there at the mining even during the rescue operation. A certain device, I can't remember, was from where overseas. It's a live detector. Day number 3, there was live. Unfortunately, it cannot detect how many people are still alive.
But
day number 3, somebody was still alive. But here we are in court. The doctor said they died instantly. And remember, there's a scenario in this whole thing that nobody knows. Maybe 1 was inside the container. Maybe 2 were inside the container. Maybe all of them were inside or outside the container.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Those are the elements that gives us, make us to be restless. Because we want to find conclusion, want to find the container and find that no, only 1 was inside, or 2, or all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So that we have closure.
And really, it's funny. In other countries, I mean, there have been collapses, people buried underground, but they were retrieved in a short space of time, not 9 years. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the governments in those countries made sure that bodies are retrieved, which is a very important thing for the families to have closure before anything.
You say we are 100 because almost similar happened in 2010 in Chile, whereby 33 miners were trapped over 688 meters underground.
Yeah.
Ours, you won't pretend, Solomon, are less than 70 meters underground. And here's an issue. The Chilean ones were rescued by a South African company.
So we've got the expertise.
We've got the expertise. We've got the company that say tomorrow, if you give us permission, we'll start searching for the container. Here's the plan. These are the costs. These are the duration. Everything is in detail.
Yeah.
But our government is denying that company, who has presented before us as the families the proof of funding, including the chief, including DMRE. But the minister opted to give the criminals, to award them with Section 11. It's not me saying they are criminals. It's the recommendations made by the courts on the very same issue.
Yeah, because what I'm failing to understand is why the matter of the business rescue, getting investors to reopen the mine, being mixed with the issue of retrieving the bodies, because that's one issue that needs to be done quickly and get out of the way.
Yes, it is a well orchestrated satanic plan by the management being having a very strong backbone of which is our government. That is the truth.
Yeah, because the report is there. Government should be dragging them to court because the report is there.
There must be accountability. There must be prosecution. These people, they have provided proof of funding and a plan in details, everything. Why denying them? Because our government doesn't want Pretty, Yvonne and Solomon to be found. Reason, we don't know. Because we've got the expertise, like we're relating to the issue of Chile.
Yeah.
The Chilean government said, no, as a country collective, we're facing a challenge. Our people are missing, 33 of them. Come, your Department of Health, your Department of Labor, your emergency, round table. What can we do first?
Yeah.
How can we do it quickly? No, let's engage other countries. South Africa was the one to get to save those miners. But yet we cannot save our own.
Yeah, it's really hard to understand, really. Okay, but now there was also an inquest. The inquest was done, you referred to. Okay, the experts saying, well, it's not possible that they survived more than a day or so. But as you say, life was detected 3 days after that, which is fine. But now that inquest made a lot of findings as well, scathing findings against Vantage again, just highlighting the fact that there are things that they were not doing correctly, that they didn't do correctly, that led to the collapse of the mine. First of all, the inquest said, revealed that illegal miners were doing as they please underground. So that's why the surface was overmined and then it had to collapse. Yeah, even the inquest itself, I'm trying to say that even the inquest itself is not saying anything good about the company.
Yes. It's according to us, it was another way of wasting taxpayers' money. Because the inquiry report itself, it says a lot, the whole story. In fact, the inquest, the difference the inquest and the inquiry was that to determine whether they are alive or not. So that they can assess their banks and so forth, you see. And then to issue that certificate.
Yes.
So that, because remember, there was this question that NPA say cannot prosecute because they don't know whether these people are still alive or what.
So basically they want pieces of their bones if they are dead to say, okay, these are the people, maybe do the DNA test, verify that these are the people who actually were in the container or are thought to have died.
Yes, but it takes long. But it's quick for the minister to say, no, I'm giving you mining rights again without explaining to South Africa and the world what informed his decision. And the law is quick enough because remember, 2019 on our arrival, it's because there was illegal mining going on there at the very same mine.
Yeah.
And we said, but people, they can access the mine. Let us also, as the families and community members and former employees, access the mine, but in search for Yvonne, Pretty and Solomon.
Yeah, which I remember you did try for a few days.
It didn't take us even a month. The law was there to be enforced to us, waiting there for a good cause. And we were forcefully removed and arrested, but never been charged. But till to date, there are illegal miners. Nobody can deny that because we've raised it. And the business rescue practitioners, they say the mine is well secured. They've got to fight one another, the illegal miners. 2 of them got killed inside the very same mine. So the law is for us, we the poor, without any help.
Yeah. Because now, I don't know, what do you think? Vantage well, they said themselves that they didn't have money to reopen the mines and they were put under business rescue. And then came companies who were bidding, who were saying, we've got the money. I think the one that remained is SSC, Siyakhula Sonke Empowerment Corporation, which has been the one that has shown commitment that they want to invest up to this day. Why do you think the business rescue practitioner has been unwilling to listen to SSC, therefore delaying the rescue process up to so far?
It's a good question, of which I believe we should have not been having this conversation till to date if the Minister of Mineral Resources should have asked or is asking the very same question. Because to me, it doesn't make sense at all. The CEO of Vantage, our former employee, he came to us as employees and said, no, I haven't got money. For that reason, the company, I'm placing the company under business rescue. He's the one who appointed Rob Deveras as the business rescue practitioners. Then he came back and said, because me not having money, I've got somebody who's got money, brought in Fred Arendse. So I put everything upon this man. Fred Arendse will take you forward. Then he went to the chief of the area and said, yes, Fred Arendse, he will rescue the situation. All of a sudden, they started fighting Vantage and him, Fred Arendse, because we are in constantly contact with Fred Arendse as the families. So we asked, what's happening? Then he brought the secret that, no, we started this misunderstanding and Vantage, because the CEO of Vantage said to me, part of the deal so that I'll give you the mine is to assist me, you scratch my back by making the inquiry report to disappear. That's what Fred Arendse said. Whether it's true or not, it's upon those who want to, in power, in authority, to find solution in the whole issue. But basically, the fact is that the business rescue practitioners was signed in, was brought in, was requested by the very same Vantage management, not the union, not us as the employees. They were just brought to us. So after that, I don't know, one can use his common sense.
Because since Fred's companies got involved, or rather showed interest to invest, there's been many court cases, one court case after the other, and Vantage has been losing all of them. But they seem to be, hell-bent on making sure that the mines are not reopened or Fred's companies don't get the opportunity to own the mines. But thinking about what you're saying, maybe probably that's the reason that there's an inquiry. Whoever takes over will have to play open books and maybe even reveal more of the situation about the company, about the mining, that was the type of things that were happening in the mine, the wrong things that were happening. We can only speculate.
You know what's happening to us as the families, but because the Bill of Rights say I personally got the right to voice out my frustration, because it frustrates us as the families what is happening. Because the owners of the mine, Vantage, after the collapse of the mine, if one can ask a question, what is it that they've ever done for the employees? Nothing. What is it that they've done for the families? Nothing. But not nothing. They've hired gangsterism to ban our camp. Vantage management.
Oh yeah, I remember
They've
there
hired
was a time.
people to block the road whenever there's like progress, when your Fred Arendt is coming with progress and so forth. And it's there. Nobody can say it doesn't know. Even the law enforcement agencies, we've reported this. And this history of one can search for himself or herself, this history of this Vantage. It's a 38% Australian company. It is controlled in Australia. And the then minister came for once. If one in power comes and then Mark Chesney, the CEO of Vantage, have a meeting with that individual, expect a different story the following day. That I've learned on the arrival of Herman Mashaba. On his way back, first date, he said he received a call. Say, me, I'm Mark Chase, the owner of Vantage. I need to have a coffee with you. Fortunately, because it's a total different individual, not that I'm here to praise Herman, but he called me and said, I must tell the family that he is surprised because after visiting us, he received a call. Mark Chase say he want to meet with him to have coffee. Fortunately, say he responded by saying that, no, I don't have to meet with you, have coffee. You can meet with your ministers and the investors and talk about reopening the mine. Me, I'm going to do this on my own way. I don't think it's necessary or there's a need for me and you to meet. Many officials, they've came, they talk good, inspire hope, revive our hopes. But the following day, something has changed. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the truth you should be told.
Yes.
If whatever reason they cannot do what they are promising to do, or there are stumbling blocks to what they wish to do, they should be open with you and tell you as the affected people.
Yes, but that's the problem because like now, the minister said he's got nothing to do with private companies. But now no explaining to the nation as to why now he's got interest in a private company.
No, but he leads a department that regulates mining in the country.
Yes, they are the custodians of
exactly.
the yes. But
So
there are
it's
some
baffling.
of the things that are not explained to us as South African, including the families. Then when we use our common sense, so we find it very difficult to understand to trust. Because where's the link? What has changed the conversation that we had yesterday? Because today you are talking something totally different with a total direction. And you don't consider, remember, how can you one say he's representing me, but you are not in contact with that, we do not communicate. So it's a lie.
True. How did Herman Mashaba get involved and to know about your plight and come in and try to help?
I think it's not for my own sake, but South Africans and listeners deserve to know the truth. Because my life has been threatened by the very same issue that you are about to discuss.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because remember, while the mine was in operation, we had the right, we still have a right. Every South African in a workplace got the right to unionize.
Yes.
So I've joined AMCU.
Okay.
Up until the mine collapsed. So after the collapse, so we were questioning our union, where are you? So that we fight for our rights. The union was nowhere to be found. Then we started this initiative collective with the communication.
Yes.
We never registered as an NGO. We are still not prepared to register a political party or a union. But the president of AMCU, Joseph Matulu, we're having an interview. He said, blaming me, a lot of accusation, which means the members of AMCU now have become an enemy. Like I'm revolting, like maybe I'm trying to form another union to compete with AMCU. You see, all of those elements. You put my life into risk. Even today, if you can ask, where is the union? Nowhere to be found. So a lot has happened and we've experienced, especially me on this issue, because we're trying to gather ourselves to fight for our rights as per it's stated on the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
But here as a leader who's supposed to protect us is blaming me, self-proclaimed leader. That's where the relation, and it was not just a conversation because it had impact to the members of AMCU to attack me.
But AMCU was the majority union at the time of the collapse, so wasn't it?
Yes.
And what have they been? What has been their role up to so far?
I think I was shocked one time when they were filing against ourselves in court that they are in favor of Vantage. I was so shocked that what informed. But fortunately, while I was questioning myself, because I understand the position of AMCU in the workplace, so days later I've seen that they've withdrawn. Maybe somebody just said without consulting with their legal advisors.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
So the kind of leadership that we have in our country, union level, I'm not blaming anybody, but this is not a union issue. It's not a political issue. It's a humanitarian issue.
For sure.
It requires unionists. It requires politicians. It requires your rock engineer, your mining. It requires every South African
to work together,
like what the Chilean government did.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, in our country, for reasons I don't know, like your Black Lives Matter.
It's like a political
people who fly to USA in the issue of Floyd George. From here, South Africa, they say Black Lives Matter. But Yvonne Pretend Solomon, maybe they are not black enough. Yeah, in our very same country again.
Yeah. And it may seem that there are individuals who are immune to prosecution, to being charged for whatsoever they've done wrong, for reasons that we don't know, we are not aware of. It's pretty bad, man. I feel sorry for you guys, but you're still having hope. What's next? I mean, it's been 9 years talking about the same issue, no progress, no nothing. And by the look of things, it may seem that Vantage has been given the permission to mine, but they are still to reopen their mines, but it seems they are still failing to, because they were supposed to have reopened in May, and then it was September last year, and then now we don't know what is happening.
Yes. You see, that is why earlier on I said our government is not willing, because today in today's proceedings, the president of Action SA, Herman Mashaba, said before everyone that he wrote to the president of the republic on his capacity.
Yeah.
He wrote to NPA. He wrote to various stakeholders. But the important one to the state president, requesting him to request the Department of Mineral Resources to seek for experts with cost. He is willing, he has engaged his family that he's going to fund that company, like the company who assisted in Chile. He's willing to pay such a company. He will be standing outside the gate waiting for them to say, here are the remains of Yvonne Pretend Solomon. Then he goes. And
that is even not allowed.
But our government didn't even have a sense to acknowledge a receipt of such a request.
Yeah.
That is why the way forward is said tomorrow is going to sign in the papers they are filing to the highest court in the land to compel the government to give him permission. Not him being Herman Mashaba, but permission that we as South African government, we have failed for the past 9 years. We believe that the imminent solution is to give this South African individual. We as government are going to monitor everything as usual as the custodian of the procedures and so forth. If I was a government, I should have said, no, thank God. Finally, we've got a solution. We are not going to spend a cent.
Yeah, because it's quite normal where the government is not able to, areas where the government is not able to reach, or where things that the government is unable to do, it leaves them to private hands.
Yes.
For instance, we've got private medical institutions for those who don't like government institutions and they feel the service is better in a private institution. That is allowed. So why is it not allowed if private citizens are saying we can assist there? It's particularly in this particular case, because everywhere it's allowed. If you see somebody who does not have an RDP house, for instance, the government has not reached that person, you can go and build a house.
Remember, yes, we've been to courts up until the constitutional courts with the very same issue. But we as the families in particular, even when we were listening to everything that court, only maybe 1.5% is about us. It's more into business, who must own what, who must have what percentage and so forth. All we are interested in is the retrieval of the container. Now here is somebody, everybody has failed because of procedures of not agreeing or agreeing. Here is somebody who say, no, let us leave everything aside. Let us assist the families in their main concern, the retrieval of the container. But our government is saying, no. Why? What is it that the government is going to lose? Because to us as the families, that's the only thing that we've been fighting for all along. But our government, without spending a cent, they are still saying no. Maybe that answer we can get it from where, I don't know. That is why I'm saying I believe that because maybe we're having this conversation, I'm blaming 90%, I'm blaming the government. But me as a leader, as an ethical leader, I believe one mustn't keep on blaming without coming with a solution. I have the solution for Lilimai. And it doesn't need one to be academically equipped. It needs one to be fair and use common sense.
What is it?
Our government say the container is retrievable. You can ask question, why don't you want to retrieve the container? It's because these people, they haven't got money. My answer is that let the president, tomorrow it's SONA. Let our president, Honorable Cyril Maposa, give the Chilean president or government a call as to how can you rescue people underground. That's the solution. But according to my research with the Chile incident, everybody seated on the round table. And I, as a leader, I personally believe that in a round table is where the solution is. Call all the stakeholders, call everybody who is involved. Then we are trying to find a solution. But in this case, our ministers, they are having meetings with the private sector and come and mislead us as the nation. There are things that they are discussed, because if they had a 3-hour meeting, they cannot say to us, we're discussing Section 11. That's not correct.
No, but
what informed that decision? What is it? What is the content of that meeting? Because to be fair, we must be told that we had a discussion. We discussed about the delays, that now we want to seal a deal that is going to cause no delays. So we're going to consider this, then this, and this. And what informed my decision is this and this and this.
But now it's a simple issue. The expertise to retrieve the bodies, we don't lack it. South Africa doesn't lack the expertise. South Africa even exports that expertise to other countries, as you mentioned, Chile. Okay. Secondly, the issue of funding. Okay, if government says we do not have the funds, but there's somebody who says I can fund that process of retrieving the bodies. So where is the problem now? Because there's a solution.
That is why I'm saying I find it very difficult, because there's a missing link. There are some discussions that are not presented to us as the nation. That's why we are confused. So one must take us into confidence as the nation as to what caused the container that is retrievable, what it cost us 9 years. What's the problem? Let us be open and tell the nation that, hey, because of this problem, and then we must seek a foreign assistant if we cannot. It shows that everybody knows that we can, but we cannot now because of what we cannot tell the nation.
Yeah. But do you get to think that maybe Black lives don't matter even here in South Africa?
No. I don't think I'll ever come into that level, that thinking that Black life doesn't matter. Those formations who has been captured by a certain system, but me, I'm not a politician, but all I know is that every life matters, including a Black one. But there's an agenda from other people who want to exploit our resources. They create systems whereby we'll undermine the intelligence of we as Black people in one way or another, and we're left vulnerable by greediness of our leaders whom we elected to serve our interests, but they are serving their own selfish interests with it all begins in Davos, where they are talking about this issue of what. I don't see it working, because still now we own the resources. A couple of days I was having a conversation with the chief, the owner of the land. The owner of the land, what is it that has benefited in all the mines around?
Yeah, well, that's the debate for the whole country. I think all the mining companies are complaining about mining communities where the mines are situated all over the country. I think they're complaining about that. Minerals being extracted from their own land, but they see very little in terms of benefits for themselves.
Yes, because the only benefit that the communities benefit, it's labor.
Yeah,
that's the only benefit.
It was labor, it was employment. I mean, really, this was the main employer, the mine.
Yes.
And most of the people were local people that were employed there, over 1,000. What has changed? The vibrancy of the economy in this village. It obviously, it has changed. The effect you can even see today. Not
even change. Change maybe is too light. It has collapsed.
Understatement, yeah.
It has collapsed because the mines were the only backbone in the small community. It has collapsed. Police, they've confirmed that the rate of your minor crimes of stealing livestock and so forth is went up because people are unemployment. Obviously, nationwide unemployment rate is high. That is why we believe that there should have been agents in reopening the mines to attend to the crisis of unemployment rate. But unfortunately, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll hear it tomorrow in Sona.
Yeah. No, you can imagine what has been happening. But now, we spoke about SSC as being interested and committed over almost the entire 9 years to reopen the mines, to invest, and so on and so forth. But now they are the biggest creditor of the mine. And I hear that they might even apply for liquidation so that they can get their money back as the biggest creditor, which may mean the end, basically, if the mine is liquidated, because its assets are, going to be sold, whatsoever is remaining, so that all the people that are owed are paid their money, and reopening it, I don't know, might be a pipe dream. How do you feel about those developments now as the former worker, as a community member, that look, it's likely that these mines might not be reopened at all?
You see, that one, I feel like maybe you should have not asked me such a question.
Yeah.
Because according to my understanding, we spoke, me and Fred Arendse, the CEO of SSC, and he was fair enough to tell us that this is the option that they want to take. And when I said that to us as the employees, we are going to lose twice now should that liquidation materialize.
Yeah.
Because there's a standard, there's a procedure that if you are owed 30 cents per rand, you must get 1 cent, of which we are going again to lose what is owed to us. Because we have already lost our monthly salaries. We are owed 3 months salaries, but however, we cannot deny it because they are business people. So now the comfort that we give ourselves is that at least if we can have what we've been fighting for, of which is the retrieval of the container.
That's basically that. Okay.
There's nothing we can do about it. We can't stop them. It's their own rights. They are business people who are bereaved families. So we haven't got power to cross that line. We say, at least let us have you won't pretend Solomon. Life will take care of itself because there's nobody we can control.
No, it's really a tragic situation indeed. Hopefully, as you said at the beginning of this conversation, there will be a solution. Let's hope there will be a positive solution that will see the bodies being retrieved, the families being able to satisfy themselves and do the necessary rituals that they need to do to make sure that, look, we accept they are dead, we can bury them, we've seen their bones. And also to you as former workers that you can, get back to employment, because most of you, I'm sure, will still not employed in the 9 years that since the mine has been closed, you are still not employed. The situation is really, really bad.
That's correct. That's correct. A high percentage still unemployed. So it's a big blow that because we had hope that the solution is near.
Yeah.
Then finally, if you are told that there's nothing that is owed to you, and they are still, I've asked the legal rep to search the part where it says that, because initially I had the knowledge that it will also become nobody's responsibility to retrieve the container should this liquidation succeed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
No, that will even be bad.
Yes.
Yeah, even worse. There you have it. We've spoken to Harry Mazibuko. He has explained everything about the situation at Lily and Barberton mines and how it has affected the families, the community at large. I think from the conversation that we just had with you, Harry, is that there are a lot of questions than answers in this matter. And you're really looking for answers from everything, from the business side of things. There are questions that maybe the minister of DMR should answer as to why is he giving the permit, the permission back to the very same mine, a company that has been found to have done wrong and to have done wrong things that have actually caused the collapse. Why is he doing that? Those are the questions that need to be answered. Other questions that need to be answered: why, if a private, no matter he's a leader of a political party, but somebody who's giving help to assist the families here to get the remains of their loved ones is not allowed to do so.
Yes.
Another question, why is the PRP also not coming clear, explaining certain things along the business rescue process?
Yes.
There have been court judgments. He was supposed to do 1, 2, and 3, which he has not done.
Yes.
So in conclusion, more questions than answers.
Yes. More questions than answers. Maybe we've said a mouthful. Maybe the conclusion is that, yes, we apologize on behalf of the families for being blaming. So today, the 9th commemoration, always saying government copy the government of Chile because they've managed to find their own. We can do the same.
Yeah, okay. No, thanks a lot for making time to talk about this. It's 9 years. I know the wounds are still raw, but thanks a lot for making time and to contain yourself to talk about. It's a very emotional matter.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate if our story is told so that every South African can come to know as to what really is happening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Until next time. We are conducting this interview at Louisville Superstore, which is the main store, grocery, furniture around the village. It's the main store. So the workers of Lily Mine were really supporting, were buying here. I have an owner or a co-owner of the store here. You introduce yourself.
Hello. Yeah. Sikanda here, Louisville Superstore and Hardware.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Welcome. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You may pass. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, great. Okay, welcome. Thanks for making time. We're discussing this matter, and I see a lot of ideas here. I see a lot of books. The business over the past 9 years, how has it been since the mines were closed?
Yeah, it's very affecting with the business because we are just pushing on the business because we are in a community. So community help us and we are helping each another. So even these books and IDs, that is all records that on 2016, then mine was dropped. And all people is gone home and didn't come back to work. And that money still is there. Yeah.
So basically, the people who were working there, you were giving them things on credit. They were taking things to pay at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And
even farmers now, because many people goes to farmers to work there. So we just helping them to get credits and foods and whatever for building staffs also.
Yeah. So how much were people owing you when the mine collapsed, and have they been able to pay you back whatsoever they were owing you?
No, I think it was above to 300,000.
300,000. Were you able to get it back?
No, some of that people that is get worked, and after they was giving us back some little by little every month to give me something to finish his credit. Yeah, some of them.
Some of them, yeah, but some of them have still not paid back. I see this.
Yeah, this is all the records that I've got it.
Yeah,
that the people was owing and goes home and didn't come back yet.
Yo, that's really bad, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of the business making money since the mine closed? Obviously, there was a change. That's
is a change that is goes to mine off because it's much money.
Yeah. So you're no longer making the same profits that you were making.
No, it's not the same one.
Yeah. No, that's really bad. But what's your wish? Do you understand the politics with the reopening of the mine? What is happening there?
No, because every and each year people is coming here and make a revenue, and after that is promising we're gonna open a mine today, this month, next month, and after that all. And years is gone. And when it's next year, February,
they come again.
And came again. And they say same things. But still nothing happened.
But do you have hope you'll ever get back your money?
Everyone is hoping. Even life you can hope only that we don't even you say no, I'm not gonna open. Hoping maybe this year, next year. We're just waiting for.
Okay. No, thanks a lot for talking to us, and thanks a lot for giving us this space to sit down and talk to Harry Mazibuko, and now to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.